Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Mariner of Spirit. I'm Greg, I'm your host, and we got a really good show again tonight. Two lovely people from, as they say, across the pond. So before we bring them out, I want to go ahead and mention a few things. Number one is the people I support, and we're down to two, and I didn't get a hold of Tim Miley, but I'll mention him anyway. Tim Miley, Autographs, great charity. He used to do or did a lot of fundraisers across the country. Did a lot of things for sheltered animals is what it amounted to, and he did a great job. And he got into it because he lost a pup and couldn't handle it, and he decided to go ahead and take it from there. And he had a picture of himself and his pup, and went ahead and posted it, or had a picture, and he made copies, and he went to a Paracon and grabbed a table and started selling pictures of himself and his pooch with autographs, and took off. And then he started going ahead and using a lot of his friends, asking a lot of his friends in the paranormal community to speak at a lot of his events. And I was fortunate enough to be at two of them, and I loved every minute of it. He always had a great lineup of speakers, and he always did an awesome job as far as the whole entire event. So that's him. And the other one, is, of course, is the Jessica Petrie Foundation. Howard Petrie's daughter who passed. And that's a resource for expecting mothers and families of pregnant women with mental illness. It's another one of those charities that, if you get an opportunity to go ahead and help out, please do so. Howard's a great person. He's got a real big heart. Doesn't show it a lot at times, but that's the way Howard is. So, and then last but not least, I want to go ahead and mention the authors that I sort of support. And we've got Bruce Holliday, we got Ron Iacovetti, we got Lynn Monet, Dr. Rebecca Foster, Rex Nielsen, Todd Bates, and Dr. Heather Lee Langdon. And they're all available on Amazon. And if you get the opportunity to go ahead and check them out, they're all very good. Rex has done some amazing artwork. He does everything with pen. And I have his first book, I believe, and it's really amazing. And if you get the opportunity, check him out for sure. He has a lot of great artwork. So without further ado, we're not going to waste any time here. I'm going to bring on my guests. We got Jenny Sullivan Signasi, and we have Louise Fagan. And
yes.
A lot of people call her Lulu,
Yeah.
but I thought I'd better go ahead and call her by her real name, or I'd be in trouble. So, welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's so late.
I jumped off the couch.
You jumped off the couch?
Did. I had a wee nap. And then I heard my phone vibrating.
Yeah, mine. I was panicking because of all the things that I do every time I get ready for a show. I usually send the links out. Yes. And there I was, 10 minutes still, and I'm going,
Jennifer? But I'm here. I'm up. I jumped.
That's awesome. You guys look spectacular for being up that late.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So for everybody, that's going to start coming in, one of the important things that I do want to mention is the fact that, and when I said across the pond, is that okay to say that?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Okay, is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
And you're all from Ireland,
Yes.
Yeah.
both of you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you've been with the team. Are you Jen? You started both of the groups, right?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then from there, then when you went ahead and you came out with Emerald Isle Paranormal Research,
Yeah.
why did you go ahead and start a new one out?
Well, there was a team that I was on before for about 7 years, and when that team had folded up, I was thinking, what do I do now? I was looking for another team to join up, but immediately then I said to myself, I'm going to do my own. I've been on a team for 7 years. How hard can it be? 6 years later, black bags, more wrinkles.
I don't see any.
Walk in a park.
But then I thought I could hold my own reins and I can control my own destination of what I want to do with the team and where I want the team to go and what I wanted it to be, because we were controlled for 7 years and it was not learning or training anymore. We were controlled. And then I just said, right, anyone who ever comes onto my team is level. We're the same. Ideas, experiments, we do the same. We're not, nobody has to ask me, can I? It's like, I have an idea. Fantastic. Let me sit back and let me watch. Let me take a break and do what you want to do. So that's what I decided to do, was to create Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I happened to catch quite a bit of your show earlier tonight.
Oh, did you? Oh my gosh, that was a great guest. Yeah, Tom Riley.
I was having trouble really understanding where he was going at times.
Oh Lordy, yeah. He has a great mindset, and he has his ideas. And he used to be my boss many years ago. Many years ago, and it was interesting to understand and learn a little bit more differently of what we were taught in school about Oliver Cromwell.
Okay.
So I will be interested in buying his book and seeing, and seeing what I wasn't taught in school. Yes, what I wasn't taught in school, definitely. But yes, yeah, I understand his questions about what happens when you're gone. What next?
Yeah.
We don't know that. It was like I was saying about, my sister was asking me, Jen, tell me what to do. And I'm like, Yvonne, you be my person. You tell me what happens. You tell me what happens next. Hopefully she can, but that's as far as we can go. Experience in the field is personal, and what myself and Louise and Niall work towards is not proven to people, proven to ourselves.
Right.
Trying to understand what we don't understand.
Right.
100%.
That was the big stymie to me, was the fact that both of you guys were trying to get the point across, yet he was like, there was a wall there and there was no go.
No.
And it was like I was waiting for the tomatoes to start flying. But
Yeah.
if you were up close and personal with this guy, you probably would have threw a few. But anyway, not to really say anything negative about the gentleman. I don't know him, and that's not right. But anyway, Louise, when you went ahead and joined up, what were your expectations?
Oh, very high. To be honest with you, I was just so happy to actually find someone like Jenny, first of all, but also like that was interested in the paranormal. And like it's kind of hard in Ireland to find paranormal teams. I think only kind of since COVID, they've kind of creeped out a bit more. But prior to that, remember I was saying that to you, Jenny, I found it very difficult to even know that there was many Irish paranormal teams in the first place. And like that, I've had this for years, different experiences, and I just wanted to meet someone who was in the same boat, but actually wanted to go that bit further and try and discover stuff. Which is kind of like what I was saying to Tom earlier. Yeah. It's like going out to space. We just don't know what to expect.
Right.
Exactly.
You know?
You don't know if the tether line's going to break or not.
That's the thing.
What to expect.
And then off you go.
Yeah.
Even if you're in space. But, you know, that's really fascinating to hear that. What were your expectations? Did you have any expectations?
When I went to meet Jenny, she basically told me what way she works. And it was the way I want to work. I like seeing both sides of the story. I do like science, but because I've had my own personal experiences, I need to explain and try and intertwine them and see, can I make my own decision? And basically, long story short, Jenny is the similar mindset as well. So I was like, perfect. Because there's so many different avenues you can go with the paranormal as well. There's like where you just more like mediumship, where you're there, you're in the moment. You don't need any recorders. You don't need any this, and this. Then there's like other ways where they're kind of the in-betweeners. They're a bit more kind of like the mediums, but they only use one or two kind of, recording things, and are the more on the pendulum side and things like that. And then there's, which I would kind of say us, Jenny, we try and have a few pendulums now and then, but we need to back up stuff as much as we can. But that's for my mindset. I've been always like that in my life. Unfortunately, I'm probably a bit hard on myself, but I question everything. So even my own experiences, I still go, well, was it because of this? Was it because of that? But Jenny was the same mindset when I met her. That's what she was on about as well. So I was like, brilliant. This is the avenue I want to go if I'm going for paranormal.
Did Jenny ever tell you that you had to call her the boss?
If she was what?
An NDA.
I wanted to see Jenny's eyes when I said
that.
I was going to zoom in on that later. Yeah.
Hold on. What was that question?
No, you don't need to know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
No, tell me.
No, I said.
I'll tell you later, Greg. Okay.
Tell me. What was it?
It was really one of those things that, when you're on the team, and you do have a leader. There's a person there that's responsible. Yeah. That's the big person. And I said, did you ever call her the boss?
Oh no, I hate that word.
Okay.
Oh, I hate that word. No.
I think you had told me that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, I just wanted affirmation on a little bit.
No, Louise would never call me the boss.
There's other words, but we can't say it.
Okay. Well, that's really great. You guys really have something going, and I know that. I've been watching a lot of your videos, and I pay attention whenever I can.
Yeah.
To going ahead and keeping up, because Jenny's always been a favorite of mine, to say the least. And it's one of those things that we all have a bond.
Yes.
And that's what's important about this is no matter where we are, we come up with the same ideas. Now, how I had asked Louise before the show started. I started talking a little bit about Estes.
Yeah, we love it.
Now, how important is it to the team, Jen, on the team level, to go ahead and do that kind of investigating?
It's very important. Once everybody in the team is comfortable and happy enough to do it, and we have great, sorry, my dog's walking around. It's very important. Once the team is happy to do what we're doing and they agree to it, we love it. We love the experiment. Louise loves the experiment. The Estes method.
I've seen her do it.
Yeah. Once everyone's happy to do it, we definitely go ahead and do it, no matter what experiment it is. Once we're all happy, myself, Louise, and Niall, then we're good to go ahead and do it. We always safety first with all of us, and then we go ahead.
What is the wildest thing that was spoken in your ear? And we got to keep this on this paranormal level, okay? And I'll ask both of you individually, and just to see what.
Okay, Louise.
I was going to say you first. You're on top.
I don't know if it was anything that was. Oh, it was actually funny. Actually, it wasn't wild or scary, as we'd say. It was funny. Louise's husband, Niall, it's very funny. Every time I have the headphones on and Louise or someone else is calling out, and then that's fine. The minute, and I listen back to the audio, but the minute Niall says something, the one thing that comes out of my mouth is, shut up, go home, or something like that. Niall is always told to shut up or go home. And he has, say if we're doing the estate for about, say, 15, 20 minutes, and Niall just pops in with one question within those 20 minutes, the immediate word that comes out of my mouth is, shut up or go home. And it's happened a few times when Niall would call out. That was nothing. It was, and nothing was said that would make me jump, if that makes sense.
You guys use blinders, right?
Yes.
Most of the time, yeah. Very odd time you might forget them, so I just I close my eyes and just be like this, you know.
Yeah.
That's okay. So now it goes to Louise.
Yeah, I don't know whether to say the name, but when we were doing a live for everyone globally, that was a very interesting estate. So we did upstairs, and when you look back on it, you can hear me supposedly saying to Jenny, I don't remember any of this, but I said to Jenny, would you please close the door? And I didn't realize at the time we had another camera set up on the live, and the camera had turned on the screen. So the lads, Jenny was informed, go on down, to fix up the screen. And so when they went out of the room, they left the door, of course, open. And you hear me then saying, and like that, I had my blindfolds on, I had the thing blaring in my ears, and it goes, close the door. And Jenny's like, oh, yeah, thinking it was me. And I was like, clearly it wasn't me. But anyway, they were like, close the door. I was actually only watching this last night on my body cam. But anyway, so the guys go down, they fix what they can. Then you can hear us kind of talking or whatever. They come back upstairs, and of course the door is shut. And next thing you hear me say, ow. And then Alan starts boom, boom, boom he can't open the door and he can't get in. And it's like, that is me. That's me there. I say this again. I don't know that the lads are trying to get into the room. And I'm like, that's me there. And then you hear, just as Alan comes in, you hear me from the body cam 2 seconds later saying, you git, which is kind of an old Irish, as in like you're messing, you get out of here type thing. You hear me say, because I remember that coming through going, git. And I was like, why am I saying ow and you git? So it was clearly like someone was giving out that they were standing at the door and Alan was trying to get in and I was none the wiser. And just want to say as well, later on that night, remember I was downstairs and I was sitting on the chair and the voices that were coming through and I could feel someone touch me on my left side. Because Jenny, you saw me itch on my right side or something. So you go, right, if someone's there, touch Louise and let her know that you're there on your left-hand side. Yeah. And near the end of it, I was feeling someone throughout the thing, but I ended up saying it while I still had the blindfolds on, going, there's someone here on my left side.
Yeah, and we were watching you touch your arm.
Yeah,
and there was someone else.
And they were saying as well, like that they were there like under the ground. And I was that was very interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, sorry, that's
amazing.
One of
that a lot of that stuff, it's got to be really interesting because of, you're sort of limited to the amount of land you guys have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I remember Jen making a comment pertaining to the fact that she had investigated a certain castle a real lot.
Mm.
You could have lived there basically for the amount of times you investigated there.
Which one is it? Left Castle.
I don't remember. I really don't, because I have trouble remembering what I'm doing, let alone what somebody else is doing.
Me
Yeah.
too.
But that's where I can remember that comment, and it was like, how many times have I done a certain? I only have one spot that I would do that at,
Oh, really?
but I'd still have the same kind of responses
Yeah.
because they're all people that lived in the community, and
Yeah.
it's the historical society,
Yeah.
and they're there. I just haven't. I was over there this afternoon, and I just talked to them when I walk in, and I sit down for a minute and turn on my phone, and I'll go to my recorder and I'll just ask a couple questions, and then I'll say, okay, I just came in here I had to get some bills taken care of, and out the door I go and lock the place back up. And they're really, as long as you treat them with respect, like I know you guys do, because I've watched you guys, that's the most important part.
Mm.
And I know, is there any competition between what you guys do in Ireland and what goes on in Great Britain?
I don't think so. I know a few teams in Britain, and I've watched them work on their lives, and it would be similar to what myself and Lou and Niall would do.
Okay.
I don't think it's any different. They use pretty much similar equipment to us. So, and we learn off them, and they would learn off us. I know one of the guys from Texas sent me a video, I think yesterday, and was doing the counting, and leaving numbers. Yeah, he sent me the video and said, I'm going to count to 10, and left 2 numbers out. So I'm waiting on the results of that. So we learn from each other of what we do and how we do it. Yeah.
That wasn't Anthony, was it?
No, it was a different guy, Adam.
Adam? Okay.
Adam Ramos.
Yeah, Anthony's here now.
I know, I see Anthony there. I see Anthony.
I think as well, because Ireland and England were quite separate. Like, we're very similar kind of mindset and things, but we are quite separate.
Right.
So, I think they just do their own thing. We do our own. Yeah.
I met one gentleman from Great Britain, and I can't remember his name, and I was going to look him up, but he was a friend of Dale Kazmarek's, and Dale Kazmarek was the boss at Ghost Research Society on the south side of Chicago. And I was with him for like almost 7 years before I left there, because it's over an hour drive just to go to the meetings.
Yeah.
So, and it's not worth it. But
I think in Ireland. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
No.
Oh, in Ireland, it's great because we can get to any location in a few hours. Any location, even if it's down in the southwest of Ireland, in Cork, it's a matter of 4 hours drive. And I've seen like other friends of mine in America and so on. They would travel like 2 days to get to a destination.
Oh yeah.
2 days to get to one destination, and it's crazy. In Ireland, I think we've only quarter of done Ireland. We have a lot more to go to. Undiscovered places. New places coming up, actually. New places coming up that went before.
Are you so you have more castles too?
Yes. Yeah. We do. We have a lot more castles. We stayed in one a few weeks ago, which was undisclosed of where we stayed. But we didn't give the name out. It would be spoiled, I think, if we gave the name out. And it's our little treasure, our little breakaway. And it wasn't even so much for an investigation. It was a breakaway for the team for October. But that's a little beautiful gem in the south of Ireland that we go to, and it's a beautiful place. It's I think my new sanctuary, Lou. I think it's my new sanctuary, that place. Yeah, never did I ever stay in a place in the bedroom on my own. But granted, now the gin and tonic helped, and the door wide open helped when I was going to bed, and maybe 6 o'clock in the morning going to bed helped when the daylight was breaking.
Yeah.
How long did you sleep in there?
2 nights. 2 nights. Yeah, we had our little Halloween party there where we all dressed up, which was brilliant. We all dressed up. We had Lou's family come down, some of our sisters and their partners, and it was more pleasure. It was not an investigation weekend. It was a pleasure weekend, you know. And then we kind of threw a quarter of it of a session, a call-out session. We didn't want to waste being there and not do anything, but it felt very comfortable.
Yeah, it didn't. There was no bad feelings from the place or anything like that. I don't think we would have felt as comfortable doing a call-out session if we didn't feel like the place was comfortable in the first place.
You would feel something. You would feel something in it. I remember one of the guys there could feel something in his room, and I didn't feel anything in my room. I was good night, Irene. I sounded like my dog there snoring. I was gone.
So you went ahead, and I think Louise mentioned earlier about body cams.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys use those all the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, mainly. And if we're not wearing them, we have them set up somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the most, to have a body cam on or a camera, what is the most important part of the investigation as far as when you turn that on?
Try and keep the language down to a minimum.
No, I mean, what I'm referring to is the fact that I always found out I've missed a lot because I didn't have everything. I wasn't equipped before I went in. So, you know, because usually that's when the proverbial, whatever you want to call it, hits the fan.
Yeah. Oh, so I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lily.
Oh, I was just going to say, we were kind of fluky. Remember in Lep Castle, I know I've talked about this a lot with the doors, but I still think that is just. I was going around taking shots. Basically, I was going to do up a video or whatever, and you know, there's longer clips of it. But anyway, and that was just by fluke. Now, Greg, like you're saying, usually when you're in a place, it's when you don't have anything, and all of a sudden, wham, bam, you know, all this stuff is happening. You're like, oh my god, this is great, and then you're like, nothing to prove it. So anyway, so by fluke, I had the camera like that. You know, going around taking in different shots, and like that, next thing I hear like a growl in my ear, like and I was like, what the hell? So I kind of turn around like this, and it was like it was show. I went to look at these like conservatory doors. This is in Lep Castle, just in case I don't know if I said that. And next thing, it's like you could hear them, and then you could just see them close.
Wow!
And I caught that by fluke on my camera. Now that was a quarter.
There you go. That's really something to be able to go ahead and do that. And I know, it's happened to us a few times, and it's really
very
neat.
Fluke.
You know, it makes your whole night well worth it.
You could hear Louise going. It was like the Titanic when Rose was at the end of the Titanic. When Louise turned around and caught that door closing, you hear Louise going.
Yeah, I think I went. Oh. But I didn't realize I actually still had my camera there. I was just like, and I was like, what's going on? And next thing the doors just went, boom. And I was like, oh, did anyone else see that? And only for that I had it on the camera. I don't think anyone really seen it.
I was sitting at the fire on my phone because we had left Redwood Castle the night before. So we were tired, but we had to start off the night in Lep Castle. So you panned the camera around, and I'm sitting at the fire with my coat on, kind of like hibernating, and my head was peeping out on my phone, sitting beside a roaring fire. And then the guys Niall was setting up, or Eamon was coming around the place, and
yeah,
and then you could see the door closing, which is and in that area is the conservatory area. So everything is closed off. There's no breeze in it. It was a sunny day, nice day. There was no breeze in that conservatory. I think Eamon went in and checked as well.
Since a lot of the spirits that you guys work with are older spirits, is there a prankster around, or does that not work with older spirits? You know what I mean by prankster? Somebody that always pulls tricks, or you set up your cameras and then nothing's on. You know, they turn everything off. They drain your batteries. They cause havoc. Do you have that there too?
Yeah, I find that mainly in the Millmount Museum, where we would normally do. And I remember the stairs were all set up with big children's toys, and we had the camcorder on at the bottom, and a recorder there as well on the step. So we had toys, we had ball, and the ball was sitting on a step, but the step had a groove in it where the ball would sit in the groove. So it wouldn't just roll itself, it has to be pushed. So we went to check on it later on in the night, and the ball was at the very bottom of the stairs. I went and checked on my camcorder, and it wasn't turned on. And one of the guys said to me, "Are you okay?" Because I was, oh, geez, there, turned blue. And I got so upset. I was like, I was kind of, I had to tell my...
You just went quiet.
I muted myself there because I muted myself there because I used language.
This is big people.
I know, but I was so annoyed. I was effing and I was blinding and I was upset. I was bloody upset. I was like, you MFs, like I'm tired. What the bleep, 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 bleep. And I said, right, reset the whole thing back up, and do it again. And when I listened back to the recorder, you could hear the ball being pushed. The REM pod went off and the ball was, falling down the stairs. But you can't have that you can have it, but many people want video.
Right.
So we know what we heard on the recorder, and we know how it was set up, but the recorder didn't. And I know I would turn it on because I am so strict on everything, checking twice that it was turned on, checking that the IR light is on, checking that it was recording.
Remember, I was just going to say as well, in the Hellfire Club, just because you're talking about batteries going, when we had only gone in, we'd taken a few shots, and then I had to put on the IR light. But when I tried to put it on, I ended up turning off the recording, and I was like, right, I'll press it back on now in a second. So Niall had left to go on up the stairs, and Jenny and we were with another team. They were just literally outside the front. And when I went to put it back on, I was like, grand, okay, there's another 2 hours left in it. And I remember looking at the battery on it. And next thing I see this big black mass now this is from an old cairn, as they call it. So it's like a dolmen. These are like old passage tombs. So they desecrated the tomb behind the old Hellfire Club. So that's why they say as well it's haunted, because they were very disrespectful. Anyway, so that was used as one of their fire places. But just there in the corner, you just see this big black mass come at me, and I just knew straight away. Now, I had my camera again in my hand, and I was like, oh, right, excuse my language. I was like, I'm gone. And he just was like, get out, get out, get out, get out. And he's pushed me out, and I was like, what? And I was like, Niall, where are you? So I went up the stairs, and then I told him the story while I still had the camera on. And then I was like, oh, look, there's these pigeons. They were sitting in the holes or whatever. And literally, I went to look up the pigeons, and the whole thing just went dead, the whole camcorder. And I was like, what the? So it wouldn't restart, wouldn't turn on. So I actually, thankfully, I had a spare backup one. I went to put it in, and it said this has actually happened to me, Jenny, a few times when I've caught stuff. It's come up then corrupted. The file was corrupted. So I was so angry because I was like, I had the camera at the time when I'd seen this black mass, and I was hoping it was there, and then like that, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And there was another time as well when we remember the flowers being pushed down in Millmount Museum, and the REM pod going off, and the earplug, your wire for your earplugs, that
Yeah.
being moved, the REM pod going off, and the plastic on the roses being pushed down. And
Yeah, that was amazing.
we were outside, you were having a smoke or whatever, and we were outside at the building.
Yeah.
And you can see the whole corridor, like, and it's right in front of the camera like that. And you can just see, and the REM pod and the wire being pushed all at the same time. You might still have it, Jenny, actually. You took it with your phone.
I had sent it on to himself, and I'll go through that. I should be there. I'll have a wee look for it. Yeah. But you could, we said you could see.
It burnt the card was burnt, the SD card. So I'll
go through my phone and just for curiosity if I still have it. But I remember sending it on to himself. But yeah, you could see, and you have to kind of, you almost go blind looking at this work. Louise has hawk eyes. Many nights I have hawk ears. Louise has hawk eyes. Many times my daughters would come in and and they kind of wake me up because my arms are like sideways like this on this table. And then I go to get up and it takes me 20 minutes to straighten my arms out because they've gone into rigor mortis, because I've fallen asleep on my computer table listening to audio, and the audio is still playing. And I'm like, where did it stop off now? Back to square one. But listen. But Louise has great eyesight. Like we were watching one of my shows last week when we were doing a show. And Louise said, Jenny, look behind you. And I thought, we got it. We can retire. We got it. It was the bloody cat. It was the cat. We thought somebody was walking by my tree. But because it was dark behind me, the cat was walking by. But we thought and I thought, this is in my house. We thought we seen a child walking by. It was my cat's tail. I was almost going to kick my cat. No,
it was bad. No, that was bad timing as well, because I had put the dogs out to go to the toilet, and when I looked back down, I just saw this little black mist go by, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, what is that? And then that was the part I sent, but I didn't see the cat beforehand. But we did eventually, of course, look back, and I was like, it's the cat.
It was the cat, and I was looking around for that cat to kick it. No, I'm joking. No, I didn't. No animal cruelty here. I do rescue work. But
you remember when I told you about Old South Pittsburgh and the nurse that I captured, full body apparition, that I think I had it on your show, if I'm not mistaken.
Do actually.
And and at the bottom of it was her cat.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And then there's a picture that was taken when I took that one. There's a gentleman that was in the group a while before that, who had been at Old South Pittsburgh. This is where it happened. And he had captured a picture of the same nurse, but she was opaque and she was in her room. And then right at the bottom of her feet, was the cat again. And that was 5 years before the picture I took.
Do you think she's residual? Do you think she's intelligent residual?
She moves around quite a bit, and she sort of controls the one end of the hospital. So I don't think it's residual.
Oh, that's good.
With that way, I mean, she retired. She had no place to live. So the doctor that owned the hospital said, you can stay here in your room.
Oh, wow.
And that's where she lived her life out.
And that's where she stays.
At least she still has her cat.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that she has a cat. I have all my animals, and I have about 7 or 8 cremated pets here in my living room. So people think I'm joking when I say, when I go, put them all in the box with me. And if it's too many, I'll buy another box and throw them in that box and then bury them all with me.
They can go on top. Yeah.
So how does everybody on the island, if you want to say it's an island,
yeah,
how do they treat you as far as you people being paranormal investigators? Does it change? Does it change? I know the Catholic religion was strong there, and so was the Protestant.
Yes.
So I mean, from years ago, but I'm just saying today, does it make any difference? Or do they treat you any differently? Like if you go to a pub or something?
I think that for me, what I personally think, they're intrigued with it. They're intrigued, and they say, we don't like. I was on a bus on the Lewis in Dublin, and I got talking to this random woman, and we talked away and we talked about paranormal, and she goes, I didn't think I'd meet someone like you today. So, well, glad to make your day better. We just, I'll talk to the chair if it talks back to me. And I'll always mention the paranormal because I know people don't want to admit that they're into it, but they are into it. Or if they're not into it, they're curious about it. So what I think is that people are interested in it, and it strikes up for a great conversation.
I think the Irish as well, and sorry, just Irish in general, though, like we have such, like our folklore and a lot of, all around spirits and leprechauns and fairies and all that jazz, so there is a lot going on. So people have kind of grown up a little bit with it, even though, yes, religion has taken over.
Have you guys seen any fairies?
I know a few, but I've never seen them. No. But I've never seen them. Oh Lord, I do.
I can remember probably maybe 20 years ago. I rented a movie, and it was a British movie, and it was about this gentleman, this photographer that caught fairies in a tree. And supposedly it really happened. But he was like, everybody sort of pushed him to the side. It was like, that's not real. Who the hell do you think you are? That kind of thing. But it was just unbelievable. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. You go out in your backyard and you got these little people that are about maybe 6 inches tall, and they got wings and they fly like a dragonfly. And how cool is that?
I think some of them are, what I have heard from, that they're not as sweet as people think they are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they're not as sweet. And that if you go into their area, their domain, they're quite nasty. Sorry for everyone who has little fairies in your bedrooms, but they can be a little bit aggressive, a little bit nasty. You'll get some of them like that. I forget the name of them. I forget what it is, but I will.
A lot of the Irish, especially the west side of Ireland, were afraid of the fairies, like terrified of them coming to take your baby or anything like that. You'd have to be, very careful where you're walking and, give gifts and things like that, How
about gnomes? Do you guys have gnomes?
Yeah, well,
possibly. I wouldn't really hear of that one as much. Would you, Jenny?
No, like leprechauns. We would hear about leprechauns. Have we seen them? No. But I tell you, the Irish make a lot of money out of them. But given American tours, give us
come and see the leprechauns.
Yeah, well,
they do. You'll see a green, or we call it a paddy wagon. That's what they call it, a paddy wagon. And you have a lot of, and I'm going to say it because it's mainly Americans on it, and say, "Do you see these leprechauns?" And that's probably a very bad accent. No matter, it depends on what part of America I'm doing. But they would pay these local people to go leprechaun hunting, and they're all in the pub later on with the money that they've made. Did you find one? No.
But there's a famous place called Carlingford. It's actually up near Jenny now. It's up, further on up.
Yeah.
And there's a man there, and he's the seventh son of a seventh son, and he swears by it that he's the only one that can see these leprechauns. He's like the manager of them, like he's the minder of them. And he says, like, there's only 150 left in the whole world, and they all live there in this mountain. And he and the fellow local residents went to the EU and got permission to have the land around there on the mountain be protected for little people. So you can actually, if anyone's watching this, they can go on to Google there and you can find it. The EU have granted that it's a sanctuary for, or a protected, something like that.
I've been there. I've done that.
I want to get a picture of that sign.
real fast before anybody leaves. I'm just going to want to go ahead and mention some names.
Yes.
The guys that are in the comment section. We got Danny Botts. We've got Len Dorman. Anthony is here, Sabalos, and he is the Wraith. We all know him as the Wraith.
Yes.
Jamie Lynn Keller, Barbara Woodbury Spear, Crystal Hill, and Len Dorman again. And he says something about thanks for muting. I have virgin ears, among other parts.
Yes.
Okay, Len.
Good man, Len. You keep going.
He's a good Chicago boy, just like I was. And I finally got smart and got out, and he went to Arkansas instead, which is like
Arkansas. I think in Arkansas.
Why would you go to Arkansas?
What's in Arkansas? I know there's a friend of mine who was there. She went on holidays there.
Really?
Yeah, and she did a live from the place where they stayed. It was interesting. He
was telling me that they don't take too kindly to people that are into the paranormal there, because
really?
it's the Bible Belt.
Oh,
so
yes.
there's a lot of heavy religion, a lot of thumpers.
Yeah, I see that place. I would love that place. I'm one of these people that will ask the questions that probably no one else would ask or shouldn't ask. And I do.
The only thing is they have guns, Jenny. So
big guns. Big guns.
But my knees are gone, so okay, we'll not go there.
You're not going to get a good running start. You're in trouble.
Oh, sugar!
I'll
use my Irish charm.
You're not in Ireland anymore.
I know. I'll use my
Irish. Like, just hang around there. Don't worry about going to Arkansas. It's not. I don't. There's not going to be. Well, number one, you probably have a good idea because there's probably not a lot of people that are going to want to go there. Okay.
Okay.
So you'll be limited as far, you'll have the whole place to yourself.
Now it has intrigued me even more.
And now I hope there's nobody else here that's from Arkansas because they'll be stoning me pretty soon.
Oh, we get that.
But I just want to say, oh, sorry, go on ahead. Greg. No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying about when Louise was talking about that guy who this land of the fairies and so on. I think that's the one I went up with my children, and it is a beautiful walk, and you have these fairy doors on the trees. But if it's the same guy, he was on British TV, and he had a brown potato bag with him, and I was like, "For the love that's all holy, what are you doing with an Irish man on your set with a brown paper bag?" And then he's looking in the bag, talking to it. And it was a little bit like Darby O'Gill and the Little People. And I'm like you couldn't take the piss anymore of the feckin' Irish. You brought this Irish man on your show, especially in the UK. And then he's sitting there, but he wouldn't show anybody what was in the bag, And you could see the bag, like...
You don't think...
a leprechaun in the bag, and he brought him over in the plane.
Well, maybe it was a naked leprechaun in that bag.
That's you know what, Greg? You must be psychic, because when they did open the bag, of course, the leprechaun had jumped out supposedly and went behind the couch, and all they could get was little clothes. And he says, "Oh, you scared him."
And I'm like, I don't know if your man was taking the joke out of people. And I'm like sitting there, and I just kind of like, I have hibernated and shrinked into like 2 foot into a corner of my Irish living room behind my Irish sofa. Like this guy.
He was swearing, wasn't he, Jenny, that he had this leprechaun in this bag. And the two of them were like, the presenters were like, "Oh, yeah, okay, let's see it." And he's like, "Yeah, he's willing to show himself. He's willing to show himself." And then next thing,
no, he got away.
He was gone.
Yeah. Gone. And then he caught him out of nowhere. I think it was a few minutes later, wasn't it, Jenny, of the conversation? He out of nowhere, I think he jumps behind a couch. I got him. I can't show him now. He's in the bag. So then that was it. He was in the bag.
People come in with a white coat.
Right. That's
Yeah.
With extra straps.
I've seen that before. The white coat.
I kind of needed it sometimes.
So as far as your sacred land there on Ireland is concerned, like your cemeteries and that, are you guys allowed to investigate in there?
There was no most of them are open. Some gates would be locked. We don't really go into them. There is one place that we went into in Dublin. Clontarf, Louise, that's the one, isn't it? Yeah. Clontarf. And that was a beautiful, beautiful, interesting place. But there's no one to stop you, no one to not allow you. They're open for you to go in if you want to. But we wouldn't. It was daytime when we went out because we were going to a few places for a friend of ours, to take pictures and so on. But there's no. I know there's one cemetery here in Grave in Drogheda that they do lock the gates. I think there's two, but there's other places where they're open, so you can go into them if you want to.
You never have any issues over there where they dump stones over or anything like that, do they?
Dump stones?
Like they'll push the tombstone over?
Gosh.
Don't think so. There could be the odd.
There was some oh God, it was in the news, it was in the newspaper or something like that, where some of the headstones were removed or damaged or something like that, but removed completely, no.
Well, I was saying that they're just damaged, and we have a cemetery on the south side of Chicago. It's called Bachelor's Grove, and it was unused for like 60 plus years.
Oh my God.
And it was just the original families that were in the area.
Yeah.
And it was overgrown and everything. So some of the paranormal groups went in and sort of started to take care of the lawn and everything and check the tombstones. And they had a lot of those groups that came in that were the how could you say, the occults would come in there and do their little ceremonies and that, so that they brought in things that weren't there before, which is no good. But that's the reason I asked, was because I know that mostly all your cemeteries, your older ones, are probably, very, very well taken care of.
There is one place beside us where myself and Louise went over to, and they've started. It was a part of the famine, and it was overgrown and uncared for, and unlooked after, and so they started to cut the grass down, make more of a better pathway, plant flowers, and it's opposite from a graveyard. So you have the graveyard here, and literally just across the road on a country road, then you have this famine land. I think children were buried there as well. And myself and Louise went over one day, and we would sit there, and it's near the countryside, so it's peaceful. You will get traffic going up and down, but it's a country area. And we sat there one day, Louise, and we kind of did a call out and got some things from it, but couldn't make sense of it. But we would go back over again and see, with permission from the people,
right?
That's buried on the land, if it was okay and respectful to talk to them.
I was interested in how you would investigate a place like that, whether it would be a current cemetery or one that's really old. Because I always have this thought in my head when I would go out by myself. I have a couple cemeteries here that are from the 1880s, 1870s, and they're still well taken care of. And I don't need to walk around in it like you know who Reggie Randall is, right?
Yes.
Okay, Reggie's my partner on 2 shows
Yeah.
a week, and Reggie took me on a thrill ride the first time I was with him on a cemetery that I had been at numerous times. And he just went in there and just started talking to him. And you've probably seen the videos.
I have seen those videos.
Louise, if you haven't seen them,
away.
you need to see how this guy operates, because he just knocked me flat. I never seen anybody, and what he captured was utterly spectacular.
I remember he played it one night for me, and I have to get him onto our show, Lou. That you would love it, Louise. You would love it. The responses he was getting was just like he was best friends with them. They knew him.
Was it true spirit box or was it true voice recorder?
He had an SB7 headphones. He had his recorder, and how could I say this? The first tombstone that was there, okay, it was quite a large one. And I had been, and I would say Reardon, because that's the name how I learned in Chicago. That's how you pronounce. And he says, "Hi, Mr. Riordan." And I went ahead and I just chimed into him and I says, "It's not Riordan, it's Reardon." And the guy, the ghost or the spirit or entity or whatever you want to call it, went ahead and came back and said, "Riordan."
Yeah.
He corrected me.
Yes.
Is this the place where Reggie has that recording work from, where he played it for me with the piano?
No, that's up in Madison.
Okay.
That's up where he is. I'm in northern Illinois, so I'm like 5 minutes from the Wisconsin border, but he's like 2 hours up.
Okay. Because I have to get him on the show, because the responses he got from that graveyard was just like he knew them. They knew him. Like it was a family. They knew him, and it was just crazy to hear.
He loves everybody. He's a starseed. He there's not a mean word in his body as far as how he communicates with spirit.
Yes.
And I don't want to give him a fat head, but he's not in the room right now. But
I was looking for him.
But he is well, he's at the bowling alley tonight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting driven crazy, but he is spectacular, and I'm glad I'm with him, and I'm his partner.
A lovely guy.
Yeah,
and
he is a sweet guy. He's a lovely guy.
We do some crazy stuff on the shows together, and we have a wild time. And the first time that we got together, he actually went ahead. I said to him, I says, you didn't call me back this afternoon. I wanted to go over some things and see what we wanted to talk about tonight. And I says, "What do you want to do?" And he just looked at him and he went, "We're going to wing it."
That's the way to do it. We're going to wing it.
And that's exactly the way we've done every show.
That's the best way. That's the best way.
From day one.
Yeah.
And then, you want a guest on? Oh, next thing you know, there's something else.
Many times that email, that StreamYard at 4 a.m, and I said, "Reggie, I'm in bed." I'm in bed.
That was
because
I had said to him, I said, "Let's go ahead and get Jenny to come on."
And I have jumped in a few times. I'll be sitting at my computer doing audio, and I think I got out of bed about 2 weeks ago. I jumped out of bed. We were private though. But yeah, I have jumped on when I'm up on the computer and you're on. I jump in. Yeah, good crack.
So for both of you guys, what is something that you would really love to have happen this coming year? As far as your paranormal investigations, or is there something that you really want to do?
Yes. I'd like for the team to travel.
You're going to say.
Make it to America.
Coming to America.
Coming to America. You will hear us before you see us.
But then you have to call it America.
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 So that's what we like to do, is go to America.
We'll end up speaking American.
I know. I'm beginning to keep saying y'all to everyone. Y'all. Yeah. And they were like, "What, Jenny?" And I'm like, "Y'all, what are y'all doing?" So y'all is into it. I'm one of those people that I could be around someone for a few days and I'll pick up the accent. I remember we were doing a private investigation and everyone kept saying to me, "Jenny, you're beginning to sound like I'm from the north of Ireland." But with Aidan is from the north of Ireland. And oh my God, I only have to listen to him for 5 minutes. And I'm saying now. When normally I would say now. I would say now, which is the northern accent. And I remember going over audio work one night. And I said, "Oh my God, Louise, listen to this." And I sent you on that piece of audio. And I was, if I didn't know it was me asking the question, I wouldn't know who it was. My whole accent was completely and utter northern accent. So what did I say? Something like, "We're here now. If you have, do you want to have a wee talk with us now?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, who is that?" Because Aidan was there. And I only have to listen to him for 5 minutes, and I'm back with the northern accent. And yeah, but I always waffle and sidetrack off. Me and Louise always do that, don't we?
Yes.
Do you guys understand Liz Melny?
Yes, I do. I love Liz.
You can understand what she says.
Yes.
I feel so bad at times because I'll pick up like 2 words and then she just blows me right across the road. I have no idea what she says.
Nod and agree, Greg. Have you ever? You don't know what's going on? Yeah.
Just nod your head. I do. I understand her, and she leaves me voicemails. And she's a fabulous Scottish accent. Yeah, I do.
Boy, I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable. But it's great, because that's what makes it all go round.
She's funny. She mails me every morning, if not every day. I remember we were on a video call with each other before, and I could hear her neighbour banging the wall because we were laughing so loud. I had no idea what I was saying, probably pure shite. but her neighbour was banging the wall, and to stop Liz from laughing so loud because we were talking. I don't know what we were talking about. God knows what I was saying. But yeah, we had good crack out of it.
She's a wonderful lady.
She's lovely. Lovely.
So the last question, which is going to be the dumbest one I asked all night long.
Go for it.
And I'll go ahead and I'll say favorite piece of equipment.
Let me see. Hold on.
See, everybody's having to grab gear.
Any
recorders. Oh, I have my body.
Now, how can you operate a recorder that's that small? You see, I have fat fingers. I can't push. Plus, I have tremor from overseas. So I try to hit one button and I hit another one.
Yeah.
And then I end up losing everything that I had on it. So I'm going to have to get one of those big Taz cams, or
Yes.
Something that I can actually use. But okay, how about you, Louise?
Oh, I'm stuck between two. I love my spirit box, but I love my recorder, my camcorder. Because I feel like with my camcorder, I'm capturing stuff at the time.
It's an IR. It's IR.
Yeah, has IR. It's one of the Sony ones. They're very good, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Equipment. We've got equipment. Oh, we keep building up on our equipment. The ones that I do love as well, Lou, and Greg, it's the Wi-Fi camera. And so we leave that Wi-Fi camera in the room. We have our iPad with us. So we watch and control the camera from a different room with our iPad.
Okay, so now actually this would be the list. When we talk about EMF, have you people gotten into the static machines, the ones that go off on static electricity?
No, not yet.
Not K2 or anything.
No, that's still all EMF. But the purest form of electricity is static electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one, Paralogics was the name of the company, and they had I have like two machines that belong to them that were all ones that when you're in a room and you got a bunch of issues with EMF, you could have that machine in there and it won't trigger it, but it still will pick up a spirit because a spirit has pure energy to it too.
Yeah.
So
that's another piece of equipment I would love to get. It's a Jacob's ladder.
Oh yeah.
That's mighty dangerous.
Mm.
You know, I'd love to hand it to someone. Here, hold this.
Just don't lick your fingers.
I know. Just give it to someone that I don't like. Here. Hold it for a minute. And then fly across the room.
Are you guys?
Huh?
Are you? I was going to say, are you guys interested in getting a Jacob's ladder?
I would love one. They are powerful. I think I had before an EMF pump, and you only leave it on for so long. But I'd like something to charge up the room.
How much are they?
Have you ever used fog? A fog machine?
No, but I was thinking of it as well.
I was going to get one actually, would you believe it, Jenny, earlier yeah.
Boy, myself and Louise have new equipment every time with an investigation. Hey, Jenny, look what I got. What did you get, Louise? Oh my God. And Louise has this fabulous, it's like a flow light and it would kind of like beam your eyes off. It's ultraviolet light.
Ultraviolet, yeah.
Wow.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's quite good. It's blinding, but really, really, really good. I ordered
Amazon is great. And if you have Temu over there, I don't know. Temu.
Temu.
Yeah.
TEMU,
Temu.
with that crazy little dude that's got that like space hat on or whatever it is.
I think so.
They do, yeah. I got my thermometer thing. What you call it? Flare.
A flare gun?
Yes. Yeah.
A flare camera.
Thank you. Yeah. Thermal flare or thermal camera.
Did you get the real one or did you get?
Well, it seems legit. It's from Temu.
Yeah, good.
Temu. It's a lot cheaper, but it's the same brand that they sell on Amazon, which is like €200-300, and I got it for like say €90. So.
And it's good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Quite good.
Yeah.
So you guys need to get bigger equipment bags now, huh?
Yeah. Well, we actually do, Louise. We do, because I know, Louise,
they're very dear.
Flare. We're looking at those cases. I like one big case. I know we were looking at the steel ones, but then I have to carry all of them, and I don't want to carry anything. I just have one big bag on wheels, put everything into it, and every drawer is named, so I know where everything goes, and I'm organized. And at the end of the night, they all just thrown back in. I have no idea what I've put where, and I just sort the whole thing out, because everyone waits for me at the end of the night. Jenny, are you ready? Because I don't really want to go home sometimes. Not really. It's like, Jenny, are you ready? And then sometimes I surprise myself by being the first one ready, so I can sit down, have a cup of tea, and like take it easy. But there was one thing. Do you know what I got a few days ago? I've ordered it. It was a compass. I like those. Anything that's natural. And I got some dices as well. Things that, and we always use color cards as well. Simple, And always a deck of cards. Always have a deck of cards and a little whiskey in the equipment bag.
I did look up about, you know, like vibrational stuff as well, but they're very expensive now. The legit ones, they're like
Mm.
900 euro. But I was interested in that.
As far as vibration, as far as what?
I don't know. I just think that could be something that could be important to use. And I don't know. I just feel like
on the energy line.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like that could be something that I could use.
Oh, that's another thing that I forgot. I said I got as well. Excuse me. It's a recorder, and it's a video. It's a recorder like this, and up here, up here it's a camera.
Okay.
And so it records and films at the same time, but kind of be the same size as this. And I've looked at the review and I've looked at the video of it to see if it's worth getting. So I went ahead and got it. It was a great review from this guy, a great review. So I went ahead and got it so it's handy to have in your bag, and anywhere and everywhere we go, instead of we can record but film at the same time, and you can control it and watch it from your mobile phone. And it works off hotspot. So if we're interested and it looks interesting, we'll get it. We'll try it out, and cheap as chips. But if they're working, use it. You know, people are buying, I think, 180, 200 euros or dollars for the Boo Bear or the REM Pod Bear. And I'm like, what the frick are you doing spending that money? Get a teddy bear, cut a hole in its belly, stick a K2 into it. Job's a good one. Go into a secondhand store, buy a teddy bear, get your K2 or your REM Pod, put it in the teddy bear. Money saved. You're welcome.
You'll probably come up with a haunted teddy bear.
I know. So any more information or ideas come to me?
Jenny shop. It'd just be a string. It stuck on the teddy and a string around it.
It's right here. I swear it's got to be right here, and he's pointing right at the teddy bear.
I swear, that's it. Oh, just leave it. That's it. And have the REM Pod sticking out with the teddy bear, and just keeping up the Jones. I find some people keep up with the Joneses. Cheap if it's like I got dices, those rolling dices. Why? I don't know. Will we use them? Yes, we'll use them. We'll roll them. We'll have a game with dices. We'll interact. You just don't know. We just use everything and anything that we can use. Trigger object.
Do you have anybody that's a tarot reader? Anybody read tarot?
No.
I did get tarot cards recently, but I practice them.
I have them, but they look nice, but I don't use them.
Yeah.
I think they're Wicca.
They're, to me, all they are is validation.
Oh, would you use them for yes, no, maybe?
We've done them. We've even done them on the Wednesday show when we do the double S's.
Yes. Yeah.
If we have an extra person, they'll go ahead and they'll pull cards.
That's really interesting, actually. We must take the cards with us, Lou.
Yeah.
The tarot. And you don't have to do tarot. You can do the oracle cards.
Oh, I actually gave my oracle cards away.
You gave them away? Those are your cards. How can you give them away?
I gave them away in the summertime to someone. I do have more cards. I do have more cards.
You probably have 50 decks there, and you don't want to tell anybody about it.
Yes, I do. No, I do. Do I?
Got a whole drawer full of them.
I'm looking for them. I've loads here. The ones I got were fabulous. They're Wicca. So you have the good cards and you have the bad cards. The light and the dark cards. And they were just lovely to see. I haven't used them. I've used them, actually once or twice. Excuse me. But I'd like to use them more often. Learn how to use them. I'm coughing here.
There's a lot of people that don't, as far as I read out of the booklets. You get this set of cards and you've got a book.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
until you pick up on it.
Until you learn it, yeah.
But it's been awesome having you guys on.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you.
I know both of you are sitting there going, is he going to end this show so I can go to bed?
I'm a little bit awake now.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
A little bit awake now, apart from that.
It's so much fun to have people like you guys on.
Thank you.
Because you bring another different view to the whole paranormal thing.
And we're a little crazy too.
And I know my questions weren't the best.
No, they were interesting. They were good.
I would really, I would like to go ahead and do it again. And when
Definitely.
you get ready to do that thing with Reggie.
Yes.
I'll come on.
Yeah.
You'll kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, we'll take you on with us as well. Definitely. We'd love you on with us as well. I'm interested in Lou listening to what Reggie has from the recordings. It's not often I stutter or have nothing to it's something. Oh, I have the stutter.
Anthony's here. Now, the whole entire time they were down in New Orleans, and this will be the end of it. They were down in New Orleans. They were walking around. You could hear the spirit boxes, right?
I remember I was watching that, yeah.
And I was telling him, and he was telling me, it was saying Greg. And then it was like, well, it's got to be reading the comments.
Oh.
Okay. And then it said Greg Kos.
Yeah.
Is this Anthony's spirit box on the live?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And that was their film. That was the big thing they did for that, whatever that Hun is.
Yes, I know. That was down with Howard, wasn't it?
Well, it's Brian, I think, Laverty. And Matt Barron. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But
okay. I watched them. I did watch them on the lives though. But
I just want to say just a few more goodbyes to. You got Pete Cardoza. He's another member of the Wraith Hunters.
He is.
And I am a member of Wraith Hunters now too. So we got Nancy Noonan Kelly, Virginia Lanigan. So I don't know where she's from, but I saw those people pop in. So
yeah.
So thank you once again for being on.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure having you guys.
Thank you.
Quite an honor. You guys do awesome work. And I wish I could have somebody drop me off in an airplane.
Come over, just jump
not a parachute, just a parachute.
We'll take you up to the Fairy Mountain.
To the Fairy Mountain?
We'll take you up to the Fairy Mountain. It's a nice place. I walked around it on my own. It's huge.
It is really nice. It is really nice up there.
Lovely. It's lovely. They get lovely food up there as well. Is this the one now in Carlingford, Lou?
Yeah.
That's the one I've been to. Yeah. They have a lovely food truck up there. I'm thinking of the food. There's lovely food up there.
There's actually a castle there as well, St. John's Castle. Or not St. John's Castle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely spot. Yeah.
And do you know
St. John?
Oh,
sorry, not Saint. Sorry, it was John. John, I said Saint. Sorry.
Do you know who's from there? You're all going to love this. You all are going to love this. Do you know who's from there?
Where?
Biden.
Oh, yeah, he is actually.
Biden.
I forgot. Where he went, yeah.
Greg is saying nothing. Biden his family is from there. Oh, yes, right beside us. Yes, we're so proud.
I think Obama was up there too. He went up that way because they had to take the ramps out for his car.
Oh, we were on that boat.
Clearly, that was a few years ago with Obama.
Yeah, I went on that boat as well. Yeah, Biden is from there. And I remember I went up and there was this huge rock. And I went up one day and I seen this huge poster of, I don't know who the man, I don't know who one of the men were, somebody from Carlingford. And it was like a 500-foot long picture of Biden. So I took a picture and sent it on to my friend, and she hates him. She's from Philadelphia, and she's Trump through and through. And I sent it on to her. Well, let me tell you, the air turned blue through the phone. Like I was called every name under the sun. But she couldn't get me because I'm here and she's over there.
Can't throw rocks that far, right?
Yeah. She did call me everything. Oh, she'd kill me. Like, she did call me every name. But yeah, it was just this huge picture of Biden. And
so you still having your party?
Oh yes, on the 23rd.
23rd? Okay.
Yeah, the 23rd. Yeah, I know.
Are you going to send out links, or what are you going to do?
Yes, I'll send links out. Okay. That's the Shadow Whispers and Emerald Isle party.
Because I missed it last year and I felt really bad.
Oh no, we have it for the 23rd. And myself and Louise and Niall have our Christmas party tomorrow night.
Oh wow!
Yes, well, we're going out for some food.
So we better go ahead and let you guys go.
We need our look at this. We need our beauty sleep. I'll be going around.
Yeah, you're lovely ladies, and you do such a great job at what you do. It's a commendation to both of you for carrying the paranormal over there the way you do.
Thank you so much. We work hard and we play harder.
Right.
Yes, we do.
So, Louise, Jen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much,
Greg.
If you want to hang around for a minute, I'm just going to end the stream.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, everybody. We will see you next week. Actually, we will see you. We'll start on Tuesday, but the One Spirit Connect is on Wednesday, so that's my next show. So everybody have a great evening, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.